You filed at 62. Maybe you were tired, maybe you were laid off, maybe somebody at the barber shop said, "Take it while it lasts." And now, a few months or a few years later, you have done the arithmetic and you would like it back. Most people believe that door is closed forever. It is not. There are exactly 2 legal do-overs in this program, and almost nobody explains them properly. So here is the short version before we get into it. Door 1 is a withdrawal, and it has a hard 12-month deadline and a repayment bill. Door 2 is a suspension, and it has no repayment at all, but you cannot use it until your full retirement age. And in between those 2 doors, there is a stretch of time where neither one is available, which is the part nobody wants to say out loud. I will say it, and I will tell you exactly where that gap starts and ends for you. Let me start with why the regret happens, because it is almost never the reason people expect. When you claim before your full retirement age, your monthly check is reduced permanently. If your full retirement age is 67 and you file the month you turn 62, that reduction is about 30%, and it does not come back at 67. It does not come back at 70. The one thing that adjusts it later is the annual cost of living increase, which raises a smaller number by the same percentage everybody else gets. Now, plenty of people file early, and it is exactly the right call. If you need the money to eat, that is not a mistake. That is the program doing its job. But 3 things tend to happen afterward that change the picture. The first is work. Somebody files at 62, then a good job turns up. Now they are under full retirement age and still working, so the earnings test starts holding back part of the check, and they think they are losing money they will never see. That one is worth its own video, and I have made it. The second is a spouse. This is the one that stings the most. When one spouse dies, the survivor generally keeps the larger of the 2 benefits, and the smaller one stops. So the check you claimed early does not just follow you. If you are the higher earner, it can follow your husband or your wife for the rest of their life too. A lot of people do not find that out until they are sitting with a funeral director. And the third is simply time. People file at 62 thinking they will not see 75, and then they feel fine at 75, and they are living on a check that was set by a guess they made in a bad year. So, the doors. Let me take them one at a time, and I want to be careful with both, because each one has a piece that people miss and then get hurt by. Door 1. Withdrawal of application. The form is the SSA 521, and what it does is remarkable. If Social Security approves it, they treat your original application as if it never existed, not adjusted, not recalculated, gone. You go back to being somebody who has never filed, and you can file again later at whatever age you choose, at the higher amount that age gives you. Now the conditions, and there are 3 that matter. Condition 1, 12 months. You have to request the withdrawal within 12 months of your first month of entitlement, not 12 months from when you regret it, 12 months from when your benefits started. If you are past that window, this door is closed, and no amount of explaining your situation reopens it. Condition 2, once. This is a once-in-a-lifetime option for retirement benefits. You do not get to file, withdraw, file, withdraw. Condition 3, and this is the one that stops most people. You have to pay it all back, everything you received, and not only what you received. Anything your family collected on your record has to come back too. So if a spouse or a minor child or a disabled adult child was drawing on your number, those months are part of the bill. Money that was withheld for your Medicare premiums has to come back. Money withheld for taxes has to come back. If something was garnished, that comes back too. Sit with what that means practically. If you have been drawing $1,800 a month for 10 months, and your wife has been drawing $900 a month on your record for the same 10 months, the repayment is not $18,000. It is $27,000, plus whatever was withheld along the way. And there is a Medicare wrinkle inside this door that catches people. If you already have Medicare, your withdrawal request has to say clearly whether Medicare should be withdrawn along with the Social Security application or kept. Most people want to keep it. If you keep it, understand what changes. Your Part B premium is normally deducted out of your monthly benefit, and you are about to have no monthly benefit. So the premium becomes something you pay directly, and it is billed to you rather than quietly taken out. If a bill like that gets missed, coverage can lapse, and that is a much bigger problem than the one you were solving. So who is Door 1 actually for? I am not going to tell you whether to walk through it, because that depends on money I cannot see. But I can tell you the shape of the person it works for. Somebody who filed recently, inside that 12-month window. Somebody who has the cash to repay in full, usually because they did not spend it, or because a job or an inheritance or a house sale changed their situation. And somebody who expects to live long enough that a permanently larger check is worth more than the pile of money they are handing back today. If you cannot repay it, Door 1 is not a decision you are making. It is simply not available, and I would rather you know that in 10 minutes than after 3 weeks of hoping. Door 2. Voluntary suspension. This one is the opposite in almost every way, and it is the one more people can actually use. Once you reach your full retirement age, you can ask Social Security to stop sending your checks, not cancel. Stop. You do not repay anything. Everything you have already received is yours and stays yours. And here is what makes it worth doing. For every month your benefit is suspended, you earn delayed retirement credits. 2/3 of 1% per month, which is 8% for a full year, all the way up to age 70. Then at 70, or earlier if you ask for it back, the checks restart at the higher amount, and the increase is permanent. So somebody who claimed at 62 took the reduction and then arrives at 67 in better shape than they expected, can suspend from 67 to 70 and pick up roughly 24% on top of what they were getting. That does not undo the early filing. The reduction is still in there. But it is a real and permanent improvement, available with a phone call and no repayment. Now the costs, because there are 3 and they are not small. First, when you suspend, anybody collecting on your record generally stops too. Your spouse's benefit on your number stops. A child's benefit on your number stops. There is one exception worth knowing, which is a divorced spouse. A divorced spouse collecting on your record keeps getting paid while you are suspended. So the calculation for a married couple and the calculation for a divorced person are genuinely different here. Second, while your own benefit is suspended, you generally cannot collect on somebody else's record either. You do not get to suspend your own check and switch over to a spousal benefit in the meantime. That door was closed by law about a decade ago, and people still get told otherwise by somebody at church. Third, Medicare again. Your Part B premium was coming out of your check. No check, no deduction. So you will be billed directly, and you need to actually pay it on time every quarter. Now let me talk about the gap, because this is the honest part of the video, and it is the part that is missing from almost everything else on this subject. Say your full retirement age is 67. Say you filed at 62 in 1 month. Your withdrawal window runs to about 63 in 1 month. After that, Door 1 is shut, and Door 2 does not open until 67. That is roughly a 4-year stretch where there is no do-over. None. Not a reduced one, not a hardship one. If you land in that gap, the honest answer is that your options are to keep the check and plan around it, or to keep working and let the earnings test do what it does, which is a different mechanism entirely and not a do-over. I am telling you this plainly because I have watched people spend months chasing something that does not exist, calling offices and getting different answers, and it cost them energy they needed for other things. Let me put 2 people on the table so the timing is concrete. These are illustrations, not real cases. The first one. A man files the month he turns 62. 9 months later, his sister leaves him some money, and he starts doing the math and does not like it. He is inside the 12-month window, so Door 1 is open to him. He has to repay 9 months of his own benefit, and if anyone was drawing on his record, he repays that too. If he can write that check, he can erase the filing entirely and start over later. The second one. A woman files at 62. At 64, she gets a job offer she did not expect. Door 1 is long gone. Door 2 is 3 years away. So her real question is not how to undo it. It is how to arrange the next 3 years so that when she reaches full retirement age, she is in a position to suspend and let it grow. That is a completely different plan, and it starts with knowing the date. Which brings me to the thing I actually want you to do this week, and it is small. Find out your first month of entitlement. Not the month you applied, not the month the first payment landed in the bank. The month your benefits officially started, which is the date the 12-month clock runs from. It is on your award letter, and if you cannot find that, your My Social Security account online will show you, or the local office will tell you. Then, with that date in hand, you know instantly which conversation you are having. Inside 12 months, ask about the SSA 521 and get a repayment figure in writing, including anything paid to family on your record. Outside 12 months, mark your full retirement age on a calendar and start planning toward a suspension instead. And one thing to be careful of, on both doors, ask Social Security directly and get the specifics for your own record. There is a lot of confident, out-of-date information about this program, especially about suspension, because the rules genuinely changed in 2015 and a lot of articles never got updated. Let me leave you with the reframe. Claiming early is not a moral failure, and it is not always a mistake. But it is a decision, and this program gives you exactly 2 ways to revisit a decision. One is a short window with a bill attached. The other is a longer wait with no bill at all. Knowing which one is available to you is a 5-minute piece of homework, and it can be worth tens of thousands of dollars over a long retirement. If this was useful, tell me in the comments which door applies to you and what your local office told you, because the answers people get vary, and it genuinely helps others reading. This is general education about how the program works, not financial advice for your situation. The rules, the amounts, and the forms change, so confirm anything here with Social Security directly before you act on it. I am Ray. This is Social Security Decoded, and I will see you in the next one.